Okay, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I know it's a little hot today. We finally got some warm weather, right? My name is Julio Colon. I oversee real estate development for the Urban League of Essex County. I will be serving as your MC and try to move the program along as quickly as possible. And I'll try to get everyone in as far as recognizing all of the wonderful public officials that are here today. But I'd like to start first with the invocation and ask Reverend Louise Scott Roundtree, council member at large, to come forward and give us an invocation.
Good morning. I first want to thank Vivian Cox-Frazier for the opportunity to bless these 3 pieces of property. I'm going to try not to do a sermon. This is going to be a brief prayer, I promise you. But we're going to bless this block and these 3 properties. Let us pray. Most gracious and everlasting God, as we come before your throne of grace here in the city of Newark on Fairmount Avenue this morning, we come bowing before you in your presence to first say thank you. Thank you for building a pathway to home ownership here in the city of Newark. We thank you for the leadership. We thank you for the Urban League. We thank you for the partners. But most of all, God, we thank you for the opportunity for there to be new ownership, new families that will come in and be able to call a space their home. So we're tilling the ground on this block this morning. We're saying, God, that there will be no hurt, harm, or danger that will enter on this street as we go forward to build. We pray, oh God, for the families as they move in, that they will enjoy the presence of having their own home, to walk into their own bedrooms, to walk into their own living rooms, to walk into their own bathrooms and say, this is my house. So God, we thank you for these houses that are now 174, 187, and 178, whatever the numbers are, God, you've already designed them. And we thank you for covering them from the roof to the basement, from door to door, the whole house, the whole block. And this is our prayer for those who built it, the partners that sold into it, for the leadership of this city as we go forward to continue to do great things in the city of Newark. I pray this prayer in the name of some who call you Jesus, some who call you Allah, some who call you Yahweh, some call you Elohim, but you're our God and our Creator. And for that we say thank you, and can I get an amen? Amen.
Thank you very much for that beautiful invocation. And now we have a musical selection that we'd like to have Kiona McCullum, Susie Q, come up and give us her beautiful musical selection.
Good morning, everybody. Let me just say this is a beautiful, beautiful occasion. And we felt it necessary. This song is called We Are One. If any of you know the song, please feel free to join in with me, because clearly this is our PA sound right now. So what I'm going to do is play it through, and I'll push through my notes. We got sing. Oh, oh, yeah. No, that's the way it is. Yeah, y'all know this song. Come on now. That's the way it is. Listen, you guys are one today. Celebrate each other. This is beautiful. I am Susie Q.
All right, let's give her a nice round of applause. Susie Q, live on Fairmount Avenue. I'd like to give just a little bit of background before we go on to the next selection. There's a total, the Urban League of Essex County developed 17 homes on Fairmount Avenue and Camden Street. What we're celebrating today is the second phase of that long, arduous process. It took several years to complete all of those homes. The city gave us all of those lots a number of years ago, and we were able to complete them in 2 phases. So if you go down towards South Orange Avenue, you'll see some different homes. The 10 homes that we did as part of this second phase are 8 right here on Fairmount Avenue, and 7 here on Fairmount Avenue and 3 on Camden Street. So all the lots have been filled, all the homes have been built. Thank God. I had to go through COVID when I did the first phase. I caught COVID November 24th, 2019. But we still was able to get them completed. We have a beautiful selection today from the Urban League preschoolers. We're gonna ask them to come up.
All right, so we're gonna do 2 selections. The first one we're gonna do is Hey Black Child, and then the next one is gonna be Shades of Black. These are our 4 and 5-year-olds that's moving on to kindergarten. Hey Black Child, you ready? Hey Black Child, do you know who you are? Who you really are? Do you know you can be what you want to be if you try to be what you can be? Hey, Black child, do you know where you're going? Where you're really going? Do you know you can learn what you want to learn if you try to learn what you can learn? Hey, Black child, do you know you are strong? I mean really strong. Do you know you can do what you want to do if you try to do what you can do? Hey, Black child, be what you can be. Do what you can do. And tomorrow, our nation will be what you want it to be. All right, so the next one is Shades of Black by Sandra Pinkney. Guys, ready? 1, 2. Shades of Black by Sandra Pinkney. I am black, I am unique. I am the creamy white frost in vanilla ice cream, and the milky smooth brown in a chocolate bar. I am the velvety orange in a peach, and the coppery brown in a pretzel. I am black, I am unique. I come from ancient kings and queens. When you look at me, what do you see? I am black, I am proud to be me.
Next, we'd like to ask our Honorable Mayor Raz J. Baraka to come forward and give a few remarks, and congratulate him for re-election.
I think I'm gonna take a nap. So I just want to thank the Urban League, Essex County, Vivian, of course, who is a beast in this work here. You know, I mean, she goes hard, trying to make sure we create affordable home ownership. There are a lot of people who talk about it. She actually has buildings up over and over and over again. Actually has clients that are trying to get buildings. Long list of people who want these properties. So people say people don't want to be homeowners. That's just not true. There's a long list of folks who are waiting in line trying to get this done, and we just can't build it fast enough. I have to thank her because at the end of the day, I think she's at the front of the line in this across the entire state of New Jersey. And all of the partners that are here, from the private and public sector, from the state, our folks in the city, we need to take a cue out of the book of the Urban League Essex County, begin to move in that direction, and whatever they're doing, whatever we have to fund, we need to be funding it because they're doing it. And as we continue to build housing in the city, and it takes a long time for us to build affordable housing compared to the other kind of housing that's being developed because of tax credits and all kinds of rules and regulations that allow us to build 30, 40, 50 at a time, when we should be building hundreds and hundreds at a time. Some of us are still talking about home ownership, and she's already doing it. So, I have a lot of respect for that, and whatever it is that we can do in the city to provide more lots, more opportunity for the Urban League, we're going to do that because we have our own program that we're doing direct to the actual residents. So, I mean, we're doing a program direct to the residents where we're trying to get them to purchase affordable housing, 2 and 3 families, and even the housing that we develop hasn't been as cheap as or affordable as the housing that the Urban League has developed. I have been amazed. I had to do double takes when the pricing went up about how much these properties were going to be. I was like, wait a minute, this can't be true. But it is. And I think this should be a model program across the state of New Jersey. Whatever we can do to make that happen, we should. A lot of us have a lot of positions, a lot of titles, a lot of important things behind our name. But what we have to show for it is what we see today. And whatever these guys are doing here at the Urban League, wherever I go to speak about it, I do. We need to be behind this to make sure that we're not building 12, but 20, 30 at a time. When we have the authority and the power to do that, we can control what we can control, and we certainly can control that. So thank you again to the Urban League, Essex County. Thank Vivian Cox Frazier for the work that she does every single day, making sure that our residents have access to affordable housing and, more importantly, affordable home ownership.
Thank you, Mayor. When he talked about the pricing, so when we did the first phase, the most expensive home that we sold was $350,000. That was back in 2019-20. 19 and 2020. Excuse me. These 8 homes that we just redeveloped, they sold from 142 to 190. And that's because of the capital stack that we were able to put together with respect to this project. And of course, the city is always the first in. Always the first in with the land and with the subsidy. And Mr. Mayor, we have another 28 3-family homes that are going to come up on South 12th Street and South 11th Street. So that number, we're going to build more. Next, I'd like to ask Councilman Dupre Kelly, West Ward Councilman, to come forward and say a few words.
Thank you. Good day, everybody. It's a little warm out here today, but that's cool. We rather that than the cold. I just want to thank Miss Vivian Frazier and your team, your entire team. You know, I feel like in this community, sometimes we forget when people are here doing the work. Sometimes it's easy to forget when people are constantly doing the work. But like the mayor say, all you have to do is look around and look at what's happening. They are putting up affordable housing. This is phase 2, and they probably have about 6, 7, 8, 9, 100 more phases to go. But we're excited about it. We're excited about it because I'm born and raised in this community, and I know what Fairmount used to look like. And I know what it looks like now and what it's becoming in this city, you know, and it's becoming a place that we can turn renters into owners here on Fairmount. And all of the projects that they get, I wish my home cost $140,000. You know, 2 families, right? Where you can make money off of those things as well. $190,000, I wish. But I just want to welcome you all here and thank everybody that is involved, from the contractors to everybody who plays a role in making our city, our ward better by building pathways to ownership. And I just want to highlight in this incredible initiative that the Urban League has in this Fairmount neighborhood. We know that home ownership is important. And as the mayor said, you might get some millennials who say, we want to live in the building with the doorman. But there are still people who understand what home ownership means. There are still people who are on that list that want to become part of home ownership. So I thank you all. Thank you to the Urban League for making this possible, especially making it possible in the best ward, the West Ward. That's what I say. What Patrick Councilman say, unless we in the South Ward. I think the mayor's starting to say that now too. I don't know if I like it very much, but but I just want to thank you all because this is very important. It gives people an opportunity to become homeowners and investing into their future. So thank you very much. I'm Councilman Dupree.
Thank you, Councilman. So with respect to these homes and the pricing, the residents individuals that have bought, 90% of them are from Newark. 90% of them are from Newark, okay? So that although the homes have to be marketed outside because of the type of financing that we get, for some reason, Newarkers wind up getting the homes. That's it. Yeah, the magic trick. You got it. Yeah. If those that remember Fairmount Avenue, it was drug-ridden, gang-ridden at one time. Okay? Now, it's not. And that's because we built these homes and we brought homeowners in to go ahead and be responsible for taking care of their community. So aside from the liquor store on the corner, which is another issue, I'll leave that alone, Mr. Mayor, but we gotta get some state legislation. I'd like to ask next one of the key funding sources that we were able to put together with the capital stack for this project. I'd like to ask the state of New Jersey, the Honorable Jacqueline Suarez, Commissioner, New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, to come forward. Thank you.
All right, well, it's still good morning. So good morning, everybody. I am going to keep my remarks pretty brief. I don't want to repeat what has already been said today. I'm excited that we were able to be a part of this opportunity to create affordable home ownership in the city of Newark. I'm going to take a moment of privilege just to talk a little bit about some of the initiatives that we are putting our money where our mouth is at the Department of Community Affairs to make sure that this reality for Newarkers is a reality not just in the city but across the state of New Jersey. We know that affordable home ownership is a cornerstone of the American dream. We understand what that means when it comes to generational wealth being passed from one family to the next. So what we wanted to talk about when I became commissioner was how do we bridge that gap? People often talk about how do we not just give people fish, but how do we teach them to fish? It's not just about teaching them to fish, it's about giving them the opportunity to learn how to fish. And some of our programming is making sure that we bridge that gap. So when we talk about Section 8 vouchers, or we talk about the State Rental Assistance Program, or SRAP as we call it, That's great to make sure that people have a safe, stable place to lay their head at night. But what it doesn't do is create that generational wealth to go from family to family. So that way people are not reliant on vouchers going forward. Instead, what we've talked about is if smaller public housing authorities across the state of New Jersey do not have the bandwidth to move people from vouchers to homeownership, we'll do it. They can port their people to DCA at no additional cost. We will take on that administrative burden. We will make sure that we find them those affordable homeownership opportunities to call that place home. When we're talking about the state rental assistance program, same thing. We do not need people to stay on vouchers. It costs the same amount of money to the state, whether we're paying a landlord or we're paying for a mortgage payment. So we will move them into that home ownership ability. We also wanted to make sure we were setting people up for success. So what does that mean? Standing things up like the family self-sufficiency program, making sure people have a nest egg. So when the roof leaks or the hot water heater goes, that people aren't suddenly thinking to themselves, do I make my mortgage payment or do I make the repair to my home? How do we set them up for that success going forward? And these programs are doing that. It's building the foundation for folks and then moving them forward going for the long term. So while we do affordable housing all across the state of New Jersey, we've done $310 million through the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, through the National Housing Trust Fund, and through the Healthy Homes Initiative since 2018. That translates to about 1,200 units of rental and homeownership all around the state of New Jersey. But we know the work's not done. People still feel the pressure. We still know that housing is expensive in New Jersey. All across the country, people are looking for affordable opportunities, and we're going to lead that charge here in the state of New Jersey. One of the other programs that I want to touch base on very briefly is the Neighborhood Revitalization Tax Credit Program. And I know the Urban League of Essex County takes full advantage of that program too. It's one of the best around the state. Why is it one of the best around the state? Because we partner with neighborhoods to hear what the neighborhoods need in their communities. It's not any government entity telling you what to do in your neighborhood. It's partnering with the local developers, with the local entities who understand the needs of their community in particular. So through the Neighborhood Revitalization Tax Credit Program, not only do we build affordable housing, but we also do some really creative things like Cavani Park here in Newark. It actually, and I know your chief IT guy came up to me earlier to talk about the tech house that we helped to finance for Newark. When we talk about the Financial Opportunity Center that you guys charged, that came also through Neighborhood Revitalization Tax Credit dollars. Why are these things so critically important? Because it helps move neighborhoods forward, just like the neighborhood that we're standing in today. So thank you all so much for giving me the opportunity to talk. I'm so glad we were able to make this project a reality, and congratulations to not just the Urban League, but also to the homeowners today.
Thank you, Commissioner. And we're glad that the governor put you back in place there, kept you there. And that's wonderful. That's beautiful. Again, we're about pioneering and making things happen at the Urban League. And one of the things is how we put together this capital stack of financing for this project. It's the first one of its kind in the state, the first one of the first of its kind in the nation, because we built 2-family homes, not single-family homes, with new market tax credits. So the next person that I'd like to ask up is Sharab Narain, who is the president and CEO of the National Community Investment Fund, who assisted us with the new markets tax credits.
Thank you, Julio. I want to start by thanking Vivian, Mr. Mayor, and all the dignitaries here who've come here to promote this major development here. You know, we are a national CDFI, community development financial institution. We've been in business for 30 years. We've deployed $500 million over the last 30 years around the country. We look at investing in banks, and one of our partner banks, Industrial Bank, is here. We work with major investors like Wells Fargo who's here. The whole idea there is to work in partnership. And Vivian is one of the people who's master. She's the grand master of partnerships. And it's, you know, it truly is. And I think that's the most important thing. New markets tax rates, Julio, as you just talked about, is one part of the capital stack which brings in subsidy. And we are very proud to have worked with Vivian on this. a few more words. Where I live in Chicago, and where we all live, wherever we live, we want to have a few components: good housing, good education, good healthcare, crime-free, and so on. Well, affordable housing, and particularly affordable for-sale housing, is one key component of that comprehensive economic development that we all think about. We at NCIF are among the proudest who have supported Vivian and want to grow that business in the Urban League system to promote this idea. Because what this does is it creates wealth. You know, when you talked about $150,000 to $190,000, Julio, well, there's immediate wealth building. And if we create equity in these homes, these guys can go and do a lot more in life. So thank you very much for making us part of your capital stack, Vivian, and we look forward to doing more.
Thank you very much. Again, I want to just remind folks how the financing that was involved in this project and the entities that were involved. As you know, all right, I won't take your thunder then, man. I can't do that now. Can't take the boss's thunder, you know what I mean? Okay. All right, folks. Next, it's always important to hear from the new homeowner, right? A testimonial. So we have a testimonial from one of the new buyers, Anvita Flowers, who bought 208 Fairmount Avenue.
He said I'm just supposed to tell you guys where I live before I moved there. He said I'm just supposed to tell. No. Good afternoon, everyone. I thank Urban League for this wonderful, wonderful opportunity. It was very, very stressful, long, but it's patient. And trust me, I have a lot of patience. I told them, if the roof leak, I don't care. Just let me sign on the dotted line. Because I will not re-sign on my lease. Because I refuse to re-sign on my lease. I calculate the exact amount of money that I'm paying for my mortgage, my light, my gas, my utilities, my sewer bill is exactly the amount of my rent. Wow. Why should I pay rent? So I want to thank everyone that helped Urban League create this program. I was living at 198, and when we signed on the dotted line, it's 3 houses over. I called my nephew, we moved me and my 2 boys. We've just moved the mattress and moved it over to the house. I said, we are staying here tonight because this is the opportunity that we got. And the way I got this opportunity, it was so weird. Because I've been with Urban League forever. From my daughter was 1, so she's 25. So I've been with Urban League for 24 years. I've been in and out of program with Urban League, start some, never finished, all because I was sick. But when this opportunity came along, unfortunately, it was that I got burned out. And Miss Dana Murray at Dorian, her mom told me to call Urban League. She said, you've been with Urban League, call Urban League, they will help you. And I called Urban League, she told me to call you, but I didn't call you. I got one of your staff, and she was like, oh, it's December, we don't have anything, I'm going to look. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to Patterson by my mom. Driving back and forth, I have to be in post at 7 o'clock in the morning. I cannot drive my kids them back and forth on the parkway. It was too much, and I was like, listen, I pay the rent. I found a place right here. It was the lowest I could have possibly found, right here. And I paid the rent, and I dilly-dally, and I was like, yep. Then Urban League called me and said, opportunity open up. You never drew my number. You did not drew my number. I was like, okay, my number is not drawn. I gotta find some other way because I have to be in a house because my rent is gonna one day be higher than my income. And I will not be able to afford it. I'm not getting Section 8, I'm not getting food stamp, I'm just going off the what I have. So therefore, home ownership was the only way to get out. And then all of a sudden I got an email that says you're third on the list. Get your paper ready. Wow. I called Urban League and she was like, yes, a lot of people don't want to go through the process. And I was like, okay. I don't mean to say, oh well, don't do it, but I'm just saying, if you don't want to go through the process, I don't have a problem with it. That's on you. When it was my turn, I already have all of my paperwork ready. I know everybody because I make sure. When I turn my paperwork in, Mr. Cobb called me and said, Miss Flowers, your paperwork is all wrong. And I was like, no problem. I called my accountant and I called my tax guy and I was like, listen, I know you live upstate New York, but none of my paperwork is right. Could you fill it out for me? He drove all the way and come down here and fill out all of my paperwork. I turned it into Mr. Cobb and every minute they wanted something new. It's always something different. My credit union is all the way down the parkway. I have panic attack all the time, so driving down the parkway was real hard. So we started doing it over emails, and they said no, they need paperwork. And then every other paper that I need is either down the parkway or at the bank in Patterson. I have the patience, and because of that patience, I am here today. There was 60-something people before me, right, that did not have the patience. It takes patience, it takes time. And I thank I'm not calling no name because there's a lot of y'all in Urban League. Every time I show up, they go like, Miss Flowers, what do you want us to print now? Mr. Cobb wants such and such. The state wants such and such. So I have to call Miss Williams, Mr. Cobb, and like everybody helped. I was like, when I got this place, I was like, I will never. But I know for a fact, today, I can pay my mortgage. I don't know about tomorrow, but I know about today. Between the community bank and Urban League, I thank everyone for helping me with my paperwork, for being patient with me, and for all the thank you and the love and everything I got from everyone. I thank you all very much, and I greatly appreciate this opportunity. It's a really great opportunity. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ms. Flowers. We'll take care of your roof problem, that leak that you talk about. And the heat, you know. It's always. Well, we've come to that point in the program where we're going to now hear some closing remarks from the President and CEO, Vivian Cox Frazier. Rah, rah! All right.
Day at the Urban League. So, Ms. Flowers said a little bit about how long it's taken. Say how long? Not long. It is a long time. The mayor drew those lotteries almost 2 years ago. That's what I'll say. It's been a journey. But good morning, everyone. I want to thank you all for being here today as we cut the ribbon on these Fairmount two-family homes. Today is a celebration of new homes, homeowners, new renters, and a model that we believe can be scaled up to help more families build stability, ownership, and wealth. I want to begin by saying there's no secret to building two-family homes in Newark. If you drive through the city, you can see them going up on every vacant lot everywhere. And in today's market, most of these homes are being sold for prices that are far beyond the reach of the average Newark family. So what makes this project special is not simply that the Urban League built these homes. What makes this project special is who these homes were built for. We built these homes so working families in Newark could have a real path to ownership. We built them so families earning moderate incomes, families who are too often left out of the home ownership market, could have the opportunity to not only buy a home, but to build something for their future. That matters because in Newark, where the majority of residents are renters, home ownership remains one of the most powerful tools for creating generational wealth and neighborhood stability. For many families, owning a home is the first real asset they will ever have. It is a place where a family gains stability, where children grow up with stronger sense of security, and where wealth can begin to move from one generation to the next. This is why the Urban League's broader housing work is rooted in a simple but powerful belief. Development should not just change the look of a block. It should change the economic trajectory of the people who live there. This is not simply development. This is wealth building, neighborhood stabilization, and making sure existing residents benefit from the revitalization rather than being pushed aside by it. These homes are also built to green community standard. I don't know if Lenny in the room, but he really was giving me a hard time about green communities, okay? I said, my house had vinyl siding. Anyway, that means families will benefit from lower long-term costs through energy-efficient appliances, durable materials, hardy back siding, and metal roofs designed to reduce maintenance burdens over time. This is important because affordability is not just about the purchase price. It's about the total cost of ownership. We also paired all of our families with housing and financial coaching. Through the Urban League's Financial Opportunity Center, we do not believe in short-term transactions. We believe in long-term relationships. Our work integrates income supports, employment, housing, education, financial literacy, and HUD-approved housing counseling so families can earn more, manage expenses, increase savings, and build wealth. And this model goes further. The rental income from these two-family homes is designed to help the families build a nest egg over time. The goal is that at the end of the compliance period, that's 7 years, new market tax credit terms, families are not just homeowners on paper. They are stronger financially than they were when they moved in. They will have had years of support, years of equity building, years of rental income, and a real opportunity to create an asset that can benefit their children and their grandchildren. That is the difference between housing that is transactional and housing that is transformational. Now, I will be honest, this was not easy. The capital stack was complicated. As Julio said, layered new markets tax credit, subsidy, pre-development sewer, public, private investment. We had partners who believed not only in the numbers, but in the purpose. We had to find ways to bring the average cost of these homes down from what they cost to build to a price that Newark working families could actually afford. And as Julio said, through our innovative financing model, these homes are being sold for under $200,000. I'm not going to name names, but some people asked me whether we were giving the houses away. My answer was no, and it still is no. We are selling them at a price that the average working family in Newark can afford. The problem is not that the homes are priced too low. The problem is that the incomes are too low. And the systems we have for housing finance are primarily designed for rental housing, for tax credit markets, and for private return. Capital will always find its way to a return. It does not need help doing that. But families do, communities do, nonprofits do. If we want housing that benefits a community beyond providing a decent place to live, if we want housing that creates ownership, stability, savings, and generational wealth, then we must change how these deals are financed, scored, supported, and regulated. We have to make it easier for nonprofits to do this work. My friends at Newark Community Development Network, I'm thinking about all of us. We must create rules and capital stacks that reflect the value of community benefit, not just financial return to the developer. And this project proves that it can be done. But it also proves that it takes committed partners. And importantly, this project is more than just 8 homes. It gives us proof of concept. It gives us a replicable model. It shows that the Urban League can layer complex financing, manage construction, prepare families for ownership, support them after closing, and keep long-term wealth building goal at the center of our work. That matters because completing these homes positions us to scale. It positions us to take what we've learned here and apply it to significantly larger projects, including larger mixed income and home ownership developments that can create greater economic benefit for Newark residents. The goal is not to stop with one block or one ribbon cutting. The goal is to build a pipeline of projects that allow more residents to own, more families to save, more renters to become homeowners, and more community wealth to stay in Newark. I want to thank the City of Newark, Mayor Baraka, Councilman Green, the entire City Council for their support. First, for approving the Urban League's purchase of these lots on Fairmount Avenue and to continue to support our development initiatives. I also want to give a huge shout out for the leadership of Allison Ladd and her staff, Janine, Muhammad, Karina, Raphael, Keith, and Aisha. You exemplify what being a public service means and strive every day to remove barriers, to create pathways, and to make government work. These lots were not easy to love. They had visitors on them. They had some tanks. They weren't really vacant. They were abandoned homes and a lot of challenges, as Julio mentioned, were on their blocks. But there were also residents, history, and possibilities. I want to thank LISC for their continued support. LISC helped fund the first houses we built on this block, and that early support helped build the foundation for what we are celebrating today. And I want to thank New Jersey Department of Community Affairs and the Neighborhood Revitalization Tax Credit Program, because it helped fund pre-development, acquisition, remediation, site prep, architecture work, and all the early work that has to happen before you can even secure any financing. And special thanks to Brad Harrington and Chris Hibbs and the rest of the NRTC team. And thank you, Commissioner Suarez. NJDCA's significant affordable housing trust fund subsidy in this project, $3.5 million, is what it took to make these homes truly affordable. I want to thank National Community Investment Fund, Sir Rob Narain, and especially Sean. This project shows why CDFIs are so important in urban communities. NCIF brought new markets credits, tax credits, and equity to the table. But they also brought partners, patience, creativity, technical knowledge, and belief in the model. So I want to thank Wells Fargo, the new markets tax credit investor. Wells Fargo's relationship with the Urban League goes back many years. Their philanthropic support helped us begin our neighborhood revitalization journey in Fairmount, including support for a resident-driven neighborhood plan that engaged more than 1,000 people. They also provided flexible funds, and that helps move pre-development. And now through this project, Wells Fargo also showed up as an investor. That is exactly the kind of partnership we need. Philanthropic dollars to help build capacity and investment dollars to help move projects to completion. Thank you to the Wells team for staying focused on the goal, even when things got dicey. And that goal was making sure that families in Newark had a real opportunity to own these homes. Thank you, Scott Penover and Chrissy Moore. I want to thank Jeff Monhay and Yandere Montano of Monhay Capital for helping us navigate the new markets tax credit structure and the financial complexity of this deal. Also want to thank Joan Yee and her team for the legal guidance that helped us bring additional subsidy into the transaction and get the homeowners in the homes. One of the challenges we did not fully anticipate was how difficult it would be to find a bank willing to service the mortgages because the Urban League is holding the mortgages. That was a critical piece of making this model work for families. Thank you, Willie Blaylock and Industrial Bank. Willie, your support helped move this project from a complicated structure on paper to a real opportunity for homeowners. Thank you. And I want to thank our other partners and supporters. Victoria Foundation, Geraldine Dodge Foundation, Prudential Foundation, TD Bank, Citizens Bank, M&T Bank, Bank America, Valley Bank, Private Bank, all the banks, everybody, and others who have supported the Urban League's housing, financial opportunity, and general operating work. Whether you funded this project directly or supported the infrastructure that allowed us to do it, you helped make today possible. Thank you. I know this is long, sorry. I got a lot of people to thank. And now I get to the real meat of this. I gotta thank the Urban League team. And that starts with the Urban League board. Are there board members here today? Please stand. Robert's in here because when Robert talks, Robert Ross, he's kind of like E.M. Hutton. So he says something, everybody says, okay, we can do it, okay. Before that, I was thinking it was touch and go, but I really want to especially call out Diane Borodell and Gita Rao. They came on the board at just the right time. They say God looks out for babies and fools. So anyway, he was looking out for me because these deals became more complex. We needed board expertise that could understand both the opportunity and the risk. And Diane and Gita asked the hard questions, helped identify workarounds, and strengthen the organization's ability to move this project forward. Thank you. Now to my team, the Urban League team. Julio told me last week he didn't think I appreciated him, but so I got witnesses. Julio Colon, thank you. When we were told the New Markets tax credit timeline required that these homes be completed in a year, Julio said, hey, no problem. And he and Kevin and Heavy Construction got it done. We closed the deal without permits in hand. I don't recommend doing that to anybody ever again. The clock was ticking, interest was accruing, and Julio delivered. Thank you. I also want to thank Jay Cobb and Latanya Josma. They're here. Oh, there's Miss Josma. She done left me, but she came back to celebrate with us. Thank you, Latanya. And although NJHMFA serves as the administrative agent, our team had to do a lot of work, an enormous amount of work. Affirmative marketing, lotteries, applicant screening, document review, credit check, and so many times, helping families through a very demanding process. We had more than 400 applications for these homes, most of them incomplete, and each application requires significant review. Latanya, thank you for managing the construction draws, loan payments, the New Markets tax credit, and the financial forecasting when additional subsidy came into the project. Thank you. That work is not always visible, but it is essential. And Jay, thank you for bringing your mortgage background, your patience, and your understanding to the underwriting process. You were exactly who we needed at exactly the right time. And I want to thank the Financial Opportunity Center and housing staff. Ms. Matthews, Ms. Corbin, Ms. Ramos, Ms. Badre, Ms. Cooper. I have some flowers for you here. So I do appreciate you. I have flowers for you. And everyone who wanted to enter the lottery, because everyone who wanted to enter the lottery had to meet with a financial coach. Okay, the big one is for Miss Matthews. Okay, so Miss Matthews, the big one's for you. Because everybody had to meet with the financial coach. And that was something. And it was intentional. Everybody had to meet the financial coach, had to take the first-time home buyers class, and it was intentional. Even for families who did not ultimately qualify for these homes, Our goal was to help them leave better prepared, more informed, and on a stronger financial path. Pat Sermon, our COO, thank you. She said, oh, you think everybody didn't thank me last week. He manages the Urban Leagues programs every day, and you push to make sure the model is truly integrated. Keep listening, team. That housing, financial coaching, workforce, education, reentry, early child families are all connected in ways that actually work for people. Thank you for pushing the staff, supporting our entire team, and helping to make sure our work reflects the full mission of the Urban League. And Ms. Hale, our CFO, she's not expecting that. Especially want to thank you for stepping into this project and having to quickly understand the structure of Newmarket's tax credit transaction and how to manage the financial reporting. I think the reports are on time. I think they are. Are they on time? No, anyway. But that was not simple work, but it is essential work, and we are grateful. And to everyone at the Urban League, in technology, Mr. Reeve, our maintenance team, preschool, youth team, reentry team, lead team, construction team, housing team, financial opportunity team, and every department that shows up every day, thank you. The way you own your programs, own your outcomes, and take responsibility for the people we serve makes my job easier. More importantly, it gives me the capacity and faith and the confidence to take on projects like this. So I want to pause for a moment to remember those who are not with us today, but whose influence is part of this work. Sheila Oliver, Mildred Crump, Nate Allen, Rhonda Lewis, and my parents, Winnie and Willis Cox. My parents were like families in Newark. My father was a roofer. My mother was a nursing assistant. I grew up in a neighborhood like Fairmount. My father only had a third grade education. He learned a trade. He started a business. He worked like a dog, and his daughter got an Ivy League education. Now my passion and purpose came together when I came to the Urban League. And I know the people who shaped me are part of what has brought us to this moment. So I thank them. Today, these homes stand as proof of what is possible when mission, capital, community, and persistence come together. They are proof that nonprofit development can do more than just produce units. When residents see homes being built, see streets improving, and families becoming homeowners, belief shifts. Ownership becomes possible. Hope becomes tangible. That is why this work matters. So today, in closing, as we cut this ribbon, we are not just opening doors to new homes. We are opening doors to a new model, one that says Newark families deserve the opportunity to own, to remain, to build wealth, and to shape the future of their own neighborhoods. Because when I know the Urban League team is doing the work, serving families, solving problems, holding itself accountable, I know we can stretch. I know we can try something hard. I know we can build something that has not been easy to build before. Thank you. Thank you to every partner, funder, investor, public official, board member, staff member, contractor, counselor, resident, applicant, buyer, renter, and even some former employees are here. I see you, Ashaki. Made this possible. You made it possible, and it was hard. But hard things make good partners. And today, because of you, families will walk through these doors not just as occupants, but as owners, neighbors, and wealth builders. Thank you.
All right, now, give it up to Vivian. Okay. Okay, that pretty much ends the program. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a ribbon cutting. We're gonna do it in front of these three particular houses. We'd like to ask the board, the public officials, the funders. We have enough ribbon. There's 75 feet over here. Okay, so we can get everybody lined up behind there. But I do want to say one thing. I'm going to take a personal note for myself. This is 50 years that I've been in the community development business, and I've given Newark 25 of those years. So I want to continue giving another 15, 20. All right now, let's get to the ribbon cutting.